Well, if anything, would you have done something differently than President Biden during the past 4 years?
There is not a thing that comes to mind in terms of, and I've been a part of most of the decisions that have had impact.
But she walks into The View, and you would think that would be an interview, and you know what they asked her? They gave her a softball, an easy question. Really propaganda. They said, can you name a single thing where you disagree with Joe Biden? You know what she says? I can't really think of anything off the top of my head. Now, in her defense, I'm not sure she could think of anything off the top of her head, whether about Joe Biden's policies or anything else.
What's going on, guys? We got to talk about Kamala Harris exposing herself, okay? This lady doesn't need help from the lamestream fake news media. She's ruining her campaign all on her own because she has been trending downward like hell. This lady needed to be way up in the polls. Remember Hillary Clinton, Joe Biden, way up in the polls. Hillary still lost. Joe Biden barely won and had to have the pandemic to save him. Now you got a situation where Kamala Harris is down in the polls, and she already knows that the writing's on the wall. She needed to be up in the polls to even stand a chance against Teflon Donald Trump. Going back to Butler, Pennsylvania is not looking good. So she decided to go visit the Cackling Hens and expose herself, saying that, well, everything that's going on with the economy in the world today, look no further, it's all my fault. I was there and I was directly responsible for everything that Joe Biden was supporting. I supported and I'm going to continue to support. Basically, the current status of the world, where there's wars all over the damn place. The economy is in shambles in terms of the people's economy, not GDP and not the stock market, actual people on the ground. You know, the middle class that Kamala Harris says and swears that she supports, those people are doing terrible because we can't afford food, we can't afford energy, we can't barely afford a damn place to live. So these people economically are doing bad, okay? And Kamala Harris is admitting that she's directly responsible for this and that she plans to continue this horrendous regimen, this regime, okay, this dictatorship under her lead rather than Sleepy Joe's lead. On top of that, she gets into some of the FEMA topic where basically they have no money left. It's not looking good for Kamala Harris, the cackler, the liar, the fake black woman. Take a look at what she had to say.
As vice president, you've worked very closely with President Biden, and he said there wasn't a single thing that he did that you could not do. Mm-hmm. What do you think would be the biggest specific difference between your presidency and a Biden presidency? Would you have done something differently than President Biden during the past 4 years?
There is not a thing that comes to mind in terms of, and I've been a part of most of the decisions that have had impact.
So Kamala Harris, this fool, dummy, is starting out wrong, okay? This lady needs to get her head examined because if you hadn't noticed the current state of everything, she's said herself numerous times in the past that the prices are too high, okay? She says, well, we have delivered a great economy, but the prices are too high. If you deliver the great economy, who the hell cares if the prices are too high? Who the hell cares if people can't afford their bills? Nobody cares about companies like Walmart making hand over fist dollar amounts, and Google, your probably biggest donor, is doing amazingly. And nobody cares about stuff like that. What people do care about is whether or not they can afford groceries. Companies be damned if it came down to it. If the people had a way to financially support themselves and live well, they wouldn't give a damn about any of these companies. So I'm tired of Kamala Harris trying to pretend as though she did some great thing. And she's calling herself out for the bad stuff as it relates to this economy. So think about this. Every single time you struggle and every single time you look at your paycheck and every single time you look at your bank account after you pay your bills, then realize that Kamala Harris is admitting to you that she's irresponsible. She can't deny responsibility of being only vice president when it's convenient. And then other times you want to take credit for all the good stuff. So bad stuff, I'm just the vice president. Good stuff, Oh, yeah, I was the vice president. Of course, I was responsible for that. In addition to that, she was called out low-key about this whole situation where Ron DeSantis, Kamala Harris is claiming Ron DeSantis is politicizing the storm, which makes no sense. Whereas it's actually Kamala who's doing that. Kamala claims that her calls are being ignored or something, and that Ron DeSantis isn't taking her calls because he's trying to make this a political thing. That just sounds ridiculous, but that's what she said.
President, Governor DeSantis, NBC is reporting Governor DeSantis is ignoring your calls on hurricanes, resources, and help. How does that hurt the situation here?
You know, moments of crisis, if nothing else, should really be the moment that anyone who calls themselves a leader says they're going to put politics aside and put the people first. People are in desperate need of support right now, and playing political games with this moment in these crisis situations, these are the height of emergency situations, is just utterly irresponsible, and it is selfish, and it is about political gamesmanship instead of doing the job that you took an oath to do, which is to put the people first.
And Ron DeSantis here decided that he was going to clap back because, as you can tell, Kamala Harris is lying.
And I've been in touch with both FEMA and the president, as well as marshaling all our state agencies and working to support our local communities. And so for Kamala Harris to try to say that my sole focus on the people of Florida is somehow selfish is delusional. She has no role in this. In fact, she's been vice president for 3.5 years. I've dealt with a number of storms under this administration. She has never contributed anything to any of these efforts.
You and Governor DeSantis have been going back and forth, trading jabs over your attempt to check in. And ahead of the storm, you've called him selfish for not taking your calls. Now, he said this morning you've never called regarding any of the storms Florida has had since you've been vice president until apparently now, and called it political. What's your response to that?
Well, first of all, I have called and talked with, in the course of this crisis, this most recent crisis, Democrat and Republican governors. Called, taken the call, answered the call, had a conversation.
What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean?
And so what I think is selfish
Has she ever
is her
called
trying to
before?
blunder into this. No, and here's
Has
the
she ever
thing.
called before?
She has no role. No, she has no role in this process. I'm in contact with the President of the United States. I'm in contact with FEMA director. I'm obviously managing all our state agencies. We're supporting all our local government. And I will say this. I've had storms under both President Trump and President Biden, and I've worked well with both of them. She's the first one who's trying to politicize the storm, and she's doing that just because of her campaign. She's trying to get some type of an edge. She knows she's doing poorly, and so she's playing these political games. I don't have time for political games. I've got people whose lives are on the line. I've got people whose homes and their possessions are on the line, and we are focused 100% on that mission. I'm not worried about playing her political games. And so she is being selfish by trying to blunder into this when we're working just fine.
And Ron's exactly right here. He knows, okay? He knows, as we all should, that the writing is on the wall for Kamala Harris. They don't really have anything else. I mean, it's October. They might pull something. As a matter of fact, I'm sure that the Democrats are going to wait till like a week before the election, November 5th, like literally like damn Halloween time or something, to try to pull a rabbit out of a hat. Okay, they're going to try to pull, they're going to dig deep up somebody's ass, and they're going to pull something out to try to turn this thing around, because I don't think that they're just going to go quietly as things are set now. So everybody definitely need to keep your head on a swivel and be ready. And hopefully the Republicans got some additional dirt on Kamala that they're going to leverage at the last minute as well, so they could, whoa, pow, fire back at the radical leftists here and make sure that they don't pull some sort of crazy dub like, oh, amnesty for all illegals, so we get an additional millions of votes and win the election. Because at this stage, would you really put it past the voters to take anything for granted or feel like, well, that's kind of unfair to the Republicans and independents? Do you really think that the Democrat voters that so greatly hate Donald Trump, have severe Trump derangement syndrome, are going to care if the Democrats pull such a dirty trick at the last minute basically guaranteeing themselves a victory. No, they're going to be happy. They're going to gloat. They're going to think it's the most amazing thing ever. And they don't care about if it's terrorists and rapists and whatever all throughout the nation. The last thing I want to point out here is how stupid this comment was that Joy Behar made, saying that she likes candidates that actually conduct their interviews and don't back out of them. This was a whopper.
First, let me say that I like candidates who show up for interviews. Just saying.
Hey, yo, what the fuck?
Fool, slap yourself 3 times.
Oh, try to do it.
Debo was right, Joy. You really need to slap yourself because this was just retarded. I'm sorry. YouTube doesn't like that word. They try to block it and all kinds of stuff. They derank the video, do all kinds of stuff, but it's worth saying because Joy, you are an idiot. Okay, I want to make sure that you know that I do not respect your intelligence for saying this because Kamala Harris was literally hiding from the media, both her and Tim Walz, Tampon Tim, okay, Tommy Pickles looking ass dude, was hiding from the media for like a month, 2 months, like a pretty long period of time, and she still hasn't done any press conference. It's been like, what, 80 days?
Would it kill you guys to have a press conference? Why hasn't she had a press conference?
Listen, the Vice President and Governor Walz have been busy crisscrossing this country since the launch of this campaign and adding Governor Walz to the ticket. You saw the ways in which they went across the battleground states last week, generating rallies of thousands, 10,000 here, 15,000 there. But
Michael, you know, a campaign rally is not a press conference.
It's going to be inclusive.
Do you mind if I cut in? I mean, you know, a campaign rally is not a press conference. Why hasn't she had a press conference? She's the vice president. She can handle the questions. Why not do it?
When I say that she doesn't talk to the press, I'm not even complaining about it.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that is the Democrats, and that has been their flaw. And there are sometimes when you really do, and in general, they should start doing it more. Talking to people who are not already on their side, they come across as scared.
We're a month away from the election, and they waited until October. It's October 8th at the time of me recording this. They waited until less than a month before the election to do a media interview blitz because they're down in the polls. They're taking all of these people's deaths and destruction of Helene to try to pull a dub here in this election at the last minute, and it's not going to work. It's sad and pathetic, guys. It is dumb as hell, and these cackling hens, they never have no criticisms for Kamala Harris. You got people dead, starving to death, children suffering, sick, no clothes, no clean clothes, water, like the water, you can't even drink the water. And these cackling buffoons, stupid behind ass women, are parading around Kamala Harris as the greatest thing ever from their little safe bubble up in New York. Anna Navarro ain't in Florida nowhere. Talking about where she from in Florida. Your ass ain't in Florida. The View is filmed like in New York. So they're nowhere near the damn storm. These people are total safety, and they don't care about nothing else. They prove that they don't care about anything else. They love to say, well, Kamala Harris cares about others. Donald Trump only cares about himself. You only care about yourself. How many millions of Americans does it require telling you that Kamala Harris isn't working for us before you care about us? These cackling hens don't give a damn about nobody but themselves. I already exposed Whoopi Goldberg in another video. Same thing for Oprah Winfrey. Okay, like Sonny Holston family used to own slaves. These women don't have a foundation to stand on. They just get up there and just bark every damn day, annoyingly as hell. Be on the lookout for when Teflon Don smokes Kamala's stupid dumb ass on November 5th. Be on the lookout for the liberal tears because you know these cackling hens is going to complain and bitch and moan every damn day. And I'm here for it. It's going to be all kinds of cackling hen videos where we could just laugh at their dumb asses together. Those are just my thoughts, guys. Let me know what you guys think. Drop a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. I appreciate you watching. The Black Anomaly. Rise on the channel. I'm out.